Seattle near Cohen Park. I don't think I've been to that park before. Okay, beautiful.
It actually leads right into Ravenna.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. I've definitely been to Ravenna. Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. I've missed the last two. I've missed the space. But thanks so much for everyone for being here. My name is Maria. I'm a Fieldwork Senior Program Manager here at CP, and I'm, of course, with my amazing co-host.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry,
I was going to say Kylie, but you were going to say Kylie. You know.
No, thank you. Thanks, Maria. Hi, everyone. Kylie. I'm the Community Engagement Senior Associate here at Common Power.
Beautiful. We got to give those intros so people know who we are. Sure. Okay. So today we're going to go over some important updates to our programs, what's been going on. Summer is always kind of like a little bit more chill than other times in the year for us, but definitely still there's a lot going on. I hope that some of you have been able to join us for some things. I've definitely seen some familiar faces, but just to go over having a little midsummer update by department, and we'll have Advocacy lead us, and then CP Future, Fieldwork Institute, and then some upcoming events. And of course, if people have questions at the end, we'd love to answer some questions from folks. Thanks so much for tuning in with us tonight, this evening. It's beautiful out here in Seattle. I'm excited to get out there and go to an amazing event that the Institute and CP Studios hosting tonight. So at the Links and Hues, if you're interested. Okay. Let's get to it.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
did we already see if there are any new people?
No, look at you. No, I did not.
We did play music though, Charles. You did miss that.
You played music. That's what I'm talking about. All right.
This is all Kylie. It's all Kylie.
Well done, Kylie. The any new people thing was a little bit of a joke because there's a lot of new people here.
Yeah, okay.
But let's pick like two.
Let's pick two people.
Yeah, if there's two people who this is your first community meeting, drop it in the chat, please, and then we'll let you unmute and tell us how you got here.
Love that. Okay, yes, please do that. That's great. That's a great idea. Okay.
So here we go. Anyone feeling brave?
Okay, we have one here. I don't want to. Oh, I hate butchering names, but Victoire or Victoire is one.
It's all right.
Hi. How did you get to? How are you here? How did you get to Common Power?
Sorry for the noise in the background. I mean, yeah, I'm obviously part of the Action Academy program, and the community meeting is required for action hours. So I was able to find this on the portal, and now I'm here.
I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larcy. Thank you, team. No, that's awesome. We love your presence here. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes, welcome. Gabe Gonzalez, can you please, Gonzalez, I'm gonna say Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm from Action Academy as well.
Beautiful.
Like Victoria said, acquired. Excited to be here. Don't really know what to expect, but yeah, excited to get down for today.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Okay, is there anybody who wasn't required to be here that would like to talk about how they got here?
I think it's actually kind of a full house and some folks that have, or not, I'm sorry. Calvin.
Second meeting.
Calvin Mandy's. Want to share with us?
Sure. I took part in the July community meeting, and I just and I enjoyed it. So I have come back for the August one.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. How did you find us initially? Like, how did you find Common Power?
A friend of mine, Ian, he's one of the team leaders for it. he introduced me to it.
Beautiful. Look at Ian doing some great
Good
advocating
job, Ian.
and recruitment for CP. Love that.
Relational organizing.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, I want to hear from Ashley.
Hi, so nice to meet you. And Jay, hello. Thank you so much for this. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm here because one, my good friend Hannah Perkins, she's part of the Young Democrats of Atlanta and the Young Democrats of Georgia. And since I was part of College Dems, she recommended me to apply to Common Powers. And so when I read about it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is great. So I applied and here I am now.
That's beautiful. We love those stories. It's such a great story. And just again, through connection and through doing the work that is so important, we get to find these awesome spaces. Thank you so much for being here, Ashley. It's so great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Awesome.
Oh, thanks for letting us on you.
Yes, thank you. So some of you folks have been to a few of our meetings. We've got trainings. There's the intro to Common Power that you run, Kylie. What is the difference between this community meeting and all these other Zoom things that we got going on?
That's a great question. So this meeting is really all about our community and updating you all on what's going on and giving a space for really us just to talk. I mean, if you've been on one of these before, you know there are after hours where you can really ask us anything. So it's really an opportunity to connect with the staff in that way, in a more casual way. I mean, we do have an agenda that we'll kind of run through and let you all know what's going on. But the other trainings and events have really specific audiences. Therefore, the welcome sessions that Charles mentioned are for people who are brand new to CP. So if you are still learning and navigating the organization, feel free to sign up for one of those. It'll kind of give you a broader overview. The fieldwork trainings Maria can speak more to, but those are specifically on how to fieldwork and get out the vote and voter registration work with us. And so they have specific for tools and traveling. But this meeting is really, within community. So we want you to feel like you're amongst friends and we're just going to kind of give updates really. And then feel free to ask questions as we go along and at the end.
That's a really great distinction. I think that one of the things that you mentioned, Kylie, is I think one of the biggest distinctions really truly is just the community aspect that you mentioned, and also just how it's so fluid. So it's less of a we'll prioritize community space, being able to like what Charles did just now, just calling on people and making sure that we're able to meet each other on a more, like you said, more personal, more casual level. So that's awesome. Thank you, Kylie, for that distinction. And also we will be talking about some of the trainings available towards the end of the meeting and just different events that are happening. But thanks so much for those who have gone to our trainings and events that I've seen folks. I've seen names, I see faces. It's been really great to meet all of you, mostly the Action Academy folks. Shout out to you for making that time and going to our stuff. Even if it's required, hey, you have been present, and I really do appreciate you and we like seeing you around. So, okay, let's get to that agenda, and then we'll have more of this awesome community time together.
I love it. Cool. Well, I will kick us off with giving an update from the advocacy department. So some of you may already know that the Freedom to Vote Act was reintroduced into Congress. This is amazing, great news. The Freedom to Vote Act, for those who don't know, is a piece of federal legislation that would help reestablish some of the protections for voting and voting access that were stripped away in the 2013 Supreme Court ruling, Shelby v. Holder. I've listed a few ways that this act will help strengthen and protect our democracy on the screen, and I won't bore everyone by reading them out, but I really like to think of it as a modernization. It's been 58 years since we've had a Voting Rights Act enacted, and our country has changed a lot in 58 years. And so one of the really easy talking points to talk about is making election day a public holiday. And so people are able to go and vote and not have to worry about work restricting them from that. So There's a lot of great information and a lot of great policies in this bill, some to do with automatic voter registration. If you're in Washington, you're probably more familiar with that because we do have that in our state. I'm happy to share a link in the chat of a more comprehensive overview of the bill if you're interested. But what you need to know right now is that it's been reintroduced by all the Democratic senators, which is amazing. So if you have a Democratic senator, call them, thank them. If you don't have a Democratic senator, you can, call your senator and urge them to pass this bill. Us at the Advocacy Department, we are being realistic about the likeliness of this bill to pass in this Congress. But as Jamie, our director, would like to say, we have to be that steady drumbeat. We have to keep on and make sure that they know that this is a priority and is important to us as citizens, their constituents. And so we're partnering with our federal coalition, the Declaration for American Democracy. You can see their logo up here, working with our partners to push this legislation. Calling calling representatives is one of those ways. There's also a petition that I can share the link to as well. But currently, the bill is introduced and will be moving into committee. That's the next step in the legislative process. And so we'll be keeping everyone updated on ways they can get involved and help uplift and amplify this through our summer advocacy program. So we have weekly posts on Fridays through our online community platform. And again, I'll drop all these links that I'm mentioning. But that's the best way to stay up to speed on what's going on with this legislation and how Common Power is going to be involved with pushing it and amplifying it. So yeah, that's going on. That's what's going on in the Advocacy Department. And I'm happy to, if anyone has any questions, I can do my best to answer them now, or if I don't know the answer, I can follow up with more information. But yeah, this is the federal voting legislation that's moving through our Congress right now.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, and shout out to the advocacy team for doing this important work. Sometimes we we don't forget, but I think that sometimes we don't focus on that daily active action thing that we can do that's easy to just contact our senators, and it's really important to remember that that's also really important work. So thank you. Okay. Woo, CP Future. Okay, so I don't know who from the team is going to be speaking, but I want to open the door for anyone who's
I got it, MJ. All good.
There you go, Larcy.
Yes. Okay. Well, what you see here is really a jam-packed kind of sardine set of pictures on the Crew Leads Leadership Retreat. It's something we do every summer and every year. The crew leads from across the country get together and really just be like in the same space at once, which is really, really fun. But before I get to this point, because I do have some folks that were first timers to Seattle that I think they should be the ones to talk about their experience. But as you can see, all the pictures on here with all the smiles and the faces, we had a really good time. But just a quick review and summary of what's been happening in Action Academy. So we're midway through the program, and although events like this are mandatory and or just an opportunity for folks to come back and see the community and engage with us, they are accumulating action hours. So it's not just that, yeah, you're supposed to go to these things. But the one thing that we do really good at Action Academy is that we entree easy opportunities for engagement. And so one of them is community. We got to do this work in community. So they come to these meetings with us, they go to the lectures. We've seen a few Action Academy folks in person as we journey through summer. So it's really good to see the students just kind of entering and visiting our ecosystem beyond the virtual space in Zoom in Action Academy. So like I said, we are halfway through the program, really knocking out some good topics to talk about in normalizing kind of like political discourse and political dialoguing, which is really cool to really observe and see how confident young people are at talking about this stuff. So it's a fun space to be, and I am always so proud of how much growth this program is doing. So I want to bring to center here, Olivia. I think you're here. right? And Mandy? I think I saw you guys.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. So it was Mandy's first time coming to Seattle, let alone across the entire country. So what was it like for you traveling from Maine, Mandy, and then all the way to Seattle? And then if there's anything here, picture wise that you think is still kind of sticking out from your memory banks, totally point it out and what was happening in those set of pictures. But yeah, how was it like? What was it like?
I think it was definitely really scary solo traveling for the first time, but I made it safely. Everything went well. Obviously, I also am very glad for Nathania that helped me from Seattle back to Boston airport because that was a struggle. But otherwise, I love Seattle so much. I kind of honestly wanted to consider transferring schools later on to go, going across the globe. But there was just always so much to do. There was so much like community and like so many events like always. It was just very different for me than Maine that it's more smaller, not really having that much. And also from the pictures, I just remember that picture of the boba I took. That boba, the taro was so, so good. And I also loved when we met up at Lossie's house. You can see at the bottom last picture below when we're holding the shirts up. It was just a really nice time to talk with everyone that we've been working with like years, but we just met for the first time. It was just a really nice time to bond with each other. So I love the trip overall. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mandy. Seriously, we had a few folks who we literally had to drag to the airport to send them back home because it was that much fun. So we did the huge when it comes to Seattle, Dick's. That particular picture at the bottom left is an immediate snack and go-to spot. We just had completed doing voter registration at the Storm game. That was really fun. And again, dialogue or talking to Seattle Lights, really getting encouragement from the fans that we were doing awesome work by being there. And then also on the bottom left, we had to do Cary Park. If you want like a very picturesque view of Seattle, that was a place to be. Very crowded that day, but we were able to squeeze onto a bench and capture that moment too. The gum wall was another place we had to make a pit stop on. Olivia, I think you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So what's still sticking in your mind when you reflect back on your Seattle visit?
I think a lot of things, but so I'll say I think it was really, really pretty. Like Seattle was, I wasn't like expecting. I didn't know that had like the mountains and then like the sound and like it was just a very like scenic place. So I might have been one of those people that you had to drag him back to the airport because I really did fall in love with like just like the scenery of Seattle and Washington. But I also think it was nice to like just see the other aspects of Common Power. Like I met some people that I've never like seen before. Some others I've only seen on Zoom. So it was nice to see them in person. Others only once. So just good to like, I don't know, just kind of like meet the other staff and kind of like fellowship. And it just was nice to see the other aspects too of like the other departments of Common Power. So that was like just really nice. But like Mandy said, like we got to see a lot of things and like go to Akai Beach and it was just a really nice experience overall, I would say.
All right, thanks, Olivia. Yeah, I think a few folks almost missed their flights that morning because many of them didn't want to go back. But here's a secret, right? The rest of us locals is that we don't invite anyone to come here in January. It's a totally different scenery. Midwinter in Seattle is not as pretty as mid-July in Seattle. So we always open the curtains up and blue skies all the way in July because that's one of the prettiest times to come here. So for the rest of you Action Academy folks, I know you're here. I appreciate you all coming here to kind of see this recap. But if this is something you're interested in, if you're like really hooked with Common Power, if you're like, you know what, I love Action Academy, I kind of want to continue on my leadership journey, I want to go deeper into this work, I want to have better relationships with the people in this organization and in this community, just picture all of these faces and then you could be in one of them next year. So it's a lot of fun bringing folks in here. It is a jam-packed set of weekends where we do a ton of events, but as you can see, it is fun, it is community, and it's a great chance for you to come visit Seattle. Thanks, Kylie and MJ. That's a wrap on CP Future. Oh yeah, the food, definitely. The food is great too.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Larcy. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Manny. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I'm glad that people like the food. I feel like I'm biased, but I do love the food.
We have some good seafood for sure though. So, okay, beautiful. Lovely pictures, loved all of them. Okay, now we're moving to fieldwork. Recently we had our first kickoff fieldwork gathering of the year, and it was really great. But I'm gonna have someone who is leading our events work here with fieldwork speak on the experience that they had at the event, how it went, and kind of like give some highlights. So Ellie, if you're around, love to hear from you.
Yes, hi everyone. So I helped organize the fieldwork gathering, the first fieldwork gathering in person after a while because of COVID. And honestly, so this is my first time being in one because I wasn't part of Common Power before it all happened. So just being able to have the community all together and just everyone getting to know each other, sharing experiences, it was just amazing to see. And then also how the community came and represented, and everyone was hanging out with each other, catching up. And then as well, like the crew leads were in town, so that was another plus because we were all able to meet each other. Some of the volunteers that have been on trips were able to reconnect with some of the crew leads that are a part this year, and then just being able to be together.
Thank you. Yeah, Ellie, and I think you mentioned a really great part here, which was the crew leads were honestly the highlight of this event. It was so cool to have them there. Donna was also there at this event. Actually, some folks that are in the room were at this event. You see the photo on the left here. All the amazing crew leads who were kind of talking about their experience and how do they get to CP, and everyone kind of, that at Common Power, we really value this intergenerational, interracial community. And so it really reflects here in these photos how we're able to learn from one another. One thing that Ellie mentioned that also was kind of like coming back. I know this space, there may not be so many folks in this space today, like in the community meeting on the Zoom room right now, that kind of understand the meaning and how meaningful this space is. But actually, just a little background on this space, the Washington Hall in Seattle is really meaningful to Common Power. This is where we used to have our gatherings back in 2019. I remember being new to Common Power as a staff, and just it was overflowing with energy and overflowing with a lot of energy, and just like also community and just like a lot of love for the work. And so going back to this space is really meaningful to us, and we made sure that we were going to come back to this specific space. I don't know if Donna is able to, but Donna, how did it feel to come back? Because I know that you were definitely one of the folks who joined us back in the day in 2019, 2020, early 2020 before the pandemic, and kind of understand why this place is specifically special to us. If you're able to, we'd love to hear from you. If not, that's totally fine. Just wanted to point out that there is somebody here who has been part of CP for a long time, and we're so grateful for the support that you've been given to CP and just one of the leads of Georgia for so long. So thanks and shout out to Donna for that work. Okay, well, it was great, and we're gonna have another one coming soon. Each one is gonna feel different. No worries, Donna. Thank you so much for being here. I totally get that. It's awkward when you talk on the bus. But
I'll wait to the event later tonight too. So that's what.
Oh, okay, love that. Okay, I'll see you there, Donna. But the cool thing about these events is that they're going to be happening throughout the summer into the fall, and also a little bit after that. And so folks who are in Seattle, more than welcome to continue to come. They're going to be different every time. We will be serving food. So this first one was in the afternoon due to some timing conflicts, scheduling conflicts, but The next ones are going to be in the morning. They're 10 a.m. to noon, and they're going to be at the Washington Hall in Seattle. And we're gonna have breakfast. We're gonna have food together as a community and continue to learn from each other. The next one, you can expect a little bit more conversation around Virginia, some analysis on how the primary went and how we're gonna move forward to working in Virginia this fall, as well as just talking more about what it means to travel with CP, some programming, talking about Action Assembly and what that looks like when we're traveling and when we're on the ground. So that's a little bit about the Fieldwork gatherings. And next up is Jessica, who's going to tell us a little bit about what our new page is about. Hi, Jessica. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm next door to you.
You are, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the new page that me and Puya have been working on. And so this is kind of a revamping of the fieldwork aspect on our website. So we hope it's a little bit more user-friendly and, you know, that you can kind of explore it on your own time. But yeah, it kind of gives you options to take remote action with us or in-person action. And that's kind of where you're going to see all those links for upcoming fieldwork gatherings, our trainings, any phone banks. So they'll all be consolidated on this page for you guys. So I hope you guys go out and check it out. I don't know if you want to kind of click through it. You can kind of see what we have right now. So remote action, if you want to click on it.
Yeah, let me see.
Screenshot.
Oh, cool.
Well, let me go. I'll go into the website. Hold on.
Okay, great. That's good. Yeah, we have some time for sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Kelly. So this is what it looks like. We have the if you go to Fieldwork, there we go, yeah, and then you find it underneath. There you go. Good. Get to work. Get involved, and it'll show you like what happens when you go into the different ones. It will show you.
Wait,
like,
let's have Jessica walk us through it, or Puya.
Yeah,
or both.
so this is, okay. Puya is here with me, but yeah, so we can kind of take you through it. So this is the remote side of our action page. And so you're going to see it'll update as we get more events. But right now you can see Ohio, we have some phone banks going on, and for Virginia. And so we'll continue to update these as we get more opportunities. So you'll see top priority events and then some upcoming events going on. And then you'll also see all of our events on Mobilize, which is a new platform that we are using that I'll go into it a bit later. And of course, your action log that exists in the bottom. So that will be like the remote side. And then if you go back and kind of take you through the in-person action, if you want to go through it.
So for the in-person part, we obviously have the Fieldwork gatherings up top. We are super excited about going back to Washington Hall. So you can RSVP there, click through that link and you can RSVP. Then we talk about Virginia, which, you know, we'll talk more a little bit further down during this meeting. But there will be a sign-up link for folks who are interested to travel to Virginia. We would love to have you there. And if you are interested to learn about the philosophy behind our fieldwork, how we operate, you can click that Learn More button, which will take you to our How We Fieldwork page. But hope this is easier for folks to navigate our website and find action very easily, and it makes it more accessible.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great work, both of you. It looks beautiful. Okay.
And Jessica mentioned a little bit, but here's actually like what I know, Jessica, you're on again.
Sorry, I forgot. I knew that was the next slide too. Cool. So this is something that we're recently transitioning to. So all of our events are now existing on mobilize.us. If you guys have done any kind of campaign work before outside of Common Power, you've probably used it before. But yeah, so all of the events that we've been talking about, like the Welcome to CP intro session, our training sessions, volunteer tools training, you're going to find all of them on mobilize.us, and it's super easy to use. And even the signups for our in-person events will also exist on this platform. So I hope you guys go check it out. I hope you guys sign up for some things. And yeah, and you can filter by whatever event you're interested in. If you're interested in phone banks, you can filter by that, and community events. And yeah, so that will be kind of where Common Power events will be existing from here on out. So I hope you guys look at it and sign up for things.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Hey, wait. One clarification piece. That's where all the fieldwork events are gonna go. There's still things like lectures at the Institute and ones that David puts on and stuff that's we're still figuring out how to get that onto this platform. But when you want to get to work, when you want to do the work, it'll be on our Mobilize channel. Yep.
Beautiful. We did have one question. I don't know if we want to save it till the end, but and I think that second question might be more for you. Larcy, it's more about I think Rachel wanted to give some feedback. But I think one
Oh
of the
yeah, I was just in the middle of responding to her. I'd love, Rachel, I would love your feedback. I'm always very, very curious. I know for a fact my student portal is nowhere near the beauty of what you're seeing right now. But if you're interested in just kind of doing a virtual meeting with me, I'd love to hear all of it, because then I could go back to Jessica and be like, help.
Okay, I'll make sure to send an email. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to hear all the different ways that we can improve ours.
I love that. Okay, so Charles, Donna has a question for you. Do we have target states for 2024 yet? And I think this is just appropriate because we're talking about fieldwork, so I kind of wanted to put that out already.
That's a really good question. I think that Puya can take part of that, actually. Puya, you want to start? We've talked about this, but we have not, we haven't like finalized them. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Donna and everybody else, we are obviously thinking about 2024 a lot and planning towards that year. There are a lot of races to look through, because we got the presidential election year, and we got the Senate, US House, like there are a lot of elections happening. And what we are right now doing is going through all the states and ensuring that we don't miss anything and trying to select which states make sense for us to invest in. There are obviously some states that are on our list and have been states that we've been going to, like Arizona or Georgia, North Carolina, that, you know, we were active in those states last year as well. And there's a very good likelihood we will be in those states next year as well. But there are some states that we were thinking about. For example, Ohio is one where, you know, there are some competitive races. It is not a state that we have really been active in outside of 2020 virtually. So I think it might take a little bit more time until we have some finalized planning in terms of which states we're going to share those details with y'all. But that is definitely the works right now. If you need to add anything else.
Okay. So I know this is a special session here because we got some people in attendance who may just be wanting to geek out about politics in general. So Puya has made this massive database, Donna, about all the races for next year and priority level and chances of winning and all that. And I think, I don't know, Puya, if you want to pull it up, we'll give you some time. But I think that you can give folks a preview of this, because at some point we're going to make it public. But we will be in all states where there's a Senate race, a swing Senate race.
Oh.
Actually, Kylie, would you mind giving me?
I think you lost me for a second. You got it?
Screen sharing.
Yeah, you should have that ability now. Yeah.
Can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. This is the database that Charles was talking about. And it has all 50 states. And it has everything from presidential level all the way down to the local state house and state senate for all 50 states. And it goes into more details, like, let's say, I don't know, Arizona, for example. You can go into more details about the elections, for the candidates that are running, the rating of how competitive they're going to be. So part of the process for us to decide which states we're going to is to go through this whole list and analyze which candidates we are interested about, to learn more about them, how they're doing with fundraising, all of these different factors that makes sense for us to invest, that we're going to look through. And our hope is that with new information coming in, some states, for example, I know like Louisiana says new map. That's because, courts are most likely, they have going to order Louisiana to draw a new map. So things are going to change. And as things move around, I will be updating this so we have the most up-to-date information. And hopefully in the next several months, we can go through all of this and finally come up with a short list of the states that make sense for us to invest in.
This is really good. This is really good here. And this is the David already promised. Okay, the team Texas would be. I mean, we have to go. There's some states we have to go to. We got to go to Texas. We got to go to Georgia, right? We got to go to. There's certain states we have to go to. We got to go to every state where there is a senator at risk on the Dem side. And there's other smaller races that we're going to consider. So at some point we'll make this public, but this is kind of the foundation of what we're building off of. It's going to be every election that you hear about on the headlines, and it's going to be a bunch of other ones that you don't hear about. Last year we went to, how many states did we go to last year? We had 9 states. Yeah, 9 states last year.
10 if you count Washington State.
Yeah. So we flew to 9 states from Washington last year. This year, this 2024, this cycle will double that. So we'll be probably in 20 states. So presidential year, that's the ball game.
Awesome. Yeah, feels like 2020 again, 20 states. Oh my gosh.
Gosh, I'm getting triggered. No, it was 2020 was a very special year. I think that obviously it was a great year for that win, and I'm excited to get to work again. There's a lot that's involved with that. So I would love to see all these faces on the ground in 2020. Just saying. Okay.
But first,
join us in Virginia. I love that. That was so great. That was great. Yes. Join us in Virginia from November 3rd to the 8th. This is the general election dates. Please save these in your calendar. We will definitely be in Virginia, somewhere in Virginia in the fall. And we'll have more dates and information soon. I know that our partners are still going to get back to us on some dates for October, leading up to the election, the general election. So look out for that, and we'll have that soon, and we'll definitely share it with you all as soon as we have it. I just wanted to remind everybody to put this in your calendars. Any thoughts? If you want to add anything, Puya, feel free. I know Puya is our great connect with New Virginia Majority. So
yeah, I think you kind of mentioned it, but there will be more trips that we're going to take to Virginia. This is for sure. This is definitely something you can plan towards. And it will be to Richmond for this one specifically. So if you want to buy your ticket after this call, you can go ahead and do that. We'll be in Richmond from November 3rd through the 8th. And there will be perhaps 1 or 2 more trips to Virginia. Those are TBD in terms of days and location. But very soon, hopefully next week, we'll have some more information for you.
Beautiful. Great. So if you come to the gathering soon, we'll have, we'll be ready to have a sign up form and everything even before that. So, all right, what's next?
All right. Next is the Institute. So welcome, Jordan.
Thanks. Thank you guys. It's been great. I'm just like still so impressed with Puya's database. Like that. I love that. All the organization. So good. But yeah, so my name is Jordan Schulte. I'm an education associate with the Institute for Common Power. And most recently we had our 1-year celebration and fundraiser event. And it actually coincided with the Action Academy Crew Lead Retreat, which was super cool. We got to be in the same space with, our staff and the crew leads, and just kind of intermingle and intertwine with, multiple departments and within CP. And it was just super great to be together. We were holding not only our 1-year celebration, but also a fundraiser at the same time for our Truth and Purpose learning experiences for educators, which are learning tours tailored towards taking educators across multiple different southern states, including Georgia and Alabama. And so we held 3 total events the week of July 17th. One honoring Dr. Harry Edwards, who was the lead organizer of the Olympic Project for Human Rights. So the historic photo of Tommy Smith and John Carlos holding up the black gloved Black Power fist. So he organized that and has just been a powerhouse in sports sociology and racial justice work. And then our second event, which was also virtual, was with Dr. Samuel Yokel, honoring him and the work that he's done in Florida. Unfortunately, he was fired for teaching Black history and working towards racial justice. So we just wanted to give him a space to present and share. And then finally, we had an in-person event, which was super great. Had plenty of staff and crew leads come and community members and folks come out to hear a poem recitation by Hank Stewart, which was super amazing, very inspiring as always, hearing from him. Yeah, so we were able to, hold a collection of events and just spend time together, as everyone's been saying, is just something that I really felt was encouraging and for myself personally. And I know just from hearing everyone else share, kind of, put a fire underneath us and just boost our energy overall. But it was great just to be together and hold such impactful events at the same time with everyone. So it was super lovely. And then I just loved that picture. So I included that one just of, the little boy also being inspired by Hank Stewart as well. So it was just a great week overall. But yeah, just a quick recap of our celebration together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that brings us to our last slide. Our upcoming events. So a lot of these have already been mentioned briefly throughout tonight, but wanted to share some of these beautiful assets that our marketing team created. Shout out to our marketing team. And so, yeah, as you can see on the board or on the slide, we have a bunch of events coming up in person and virtual. Would love to see y'all again at some of these events coming up. For the reoccurring events, we just threw the next date that they will be. So this month, but yeah, that's pretty much what we got for everyone. And feel free to ask us questions in this time. So yeah.
Thank you, Kylie. Yeah, a little bit of a short agenda, but definitely got all that we needed to report back to our community, to you all through community. And I'm sure there's questions or thoughts, so would love to hear from you. Feel free to mute. I would love to maybe stop sharing so we can all be in community.
Sure.
Thank you, Kylie. Awesome. Yeah, what do y'all think about I did one on Tuesday? Can we attend the one on Tuesday? Yes, you can attend any of these trainings more than twice for sure. Sorry, I didn't realize that you had already answered. But feel free to ask questions or thoughts or comments or give us feedback. We'd love to hear you.
I'll stop